Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to another video here with Faith and Familiar. Real quick, I just wanted to jump in and remind you that your faith journey doesn't stop whenever you learn English. Listen, if you're an English speaker, obviously you're on this video, it's because you are gifted in a specific language, which is your primary native language, probably, if you're watching this. But some of you, this may be your second language, English. One thing that I loved about my wife is being with her and hearing her Spanish accent. She's from Puerto Rico, de Puerto Rico, and it's amazing being able to experience some of the things that being married to her offers, which is going back to her home island, meeting her family, that some of them only speak Spanish. So it really forced me to really go on this Spanish learning journey. And for me, I want to encourage some of you out there, if you want Spanish to be your second language or your third language, listen, begin by one, just talking. Go and watch videos and just start talking. I know that seems kind of overwhelming and difficult to many of you, but I literally just started talking to my wife. I would just mimic what she would say, and it sort of immersed me right in Spanish learning right away. And then I tried things like Duolingo. I didn't necessarily find Duolingo as helpful. Yes, it did help with some words, but it really wasn't a way I could really learn and figure out the grammar side and communicate in a way that I thought was thorough. So the foundation that I built literally was focusing on the alphabet first, and then I started just greeting people, just whatever I knew, I just said it. And then I would also see how people would respond. I would lean in after I would talk to others. Then after that, a little bit after that, I started doing introductions, and also that just opened up the door to learning more words and phrases. But I think one of the biggest things is learning the actual alphabet in the new language or target language that you're learning. I think another thing is utilizing different people around you. Like, go to the store, the Mexican sort of store near your house, or if you live in Florida, there's so many different opportunities there. You can go to different community festivals, and that's pretty much in any major city that is around Latino Americanos. You can spend a lot of time and be really strategic about setting up. But I think I learned much more in the street context rather than in school context. And if you're watching this video now on the Faith and Fluency channel, it's really, that channel on the YouTube is really around helping believers be able to share their faith and testimony. And we go on a journey where basically I would love to walk with you through what it looks like to become bolder in your speaking and really just grow in your speaking abilities when it comes to your target language, the new language that you're looking to start. Okay, I would say the second thing is understanding basic grammar, studying simple yet profound sentence structures. Every single day you should be really intentional about learning verb conjugations and essential grammar rules. Those are big things. However, don't just force yourself to always be in that predicament where you feel like you need to learn this and that. Just take it one day at a time. Literally, it's not gonna happen overnight. Many of us, we want the whole book written. Sometimes it doesn't start with just the sentence. You got to start with one word. So go one word at a time. Listen to native speakers through Spanish music, podcasts, grasp pronunciation nuances. There's so many different things that you want to continue to learn. And I know for me, when you listen to native speakers through the Spanish music or podcasts, you grasp these different things. So I'm constantly trying to find new podcasts and new opportunities to connect with different people from all over, because I know I have friends in Colombia, I have friends in Mexico City, La Ciudad de Mexico, like all over the place that I would connect with, and they would teach me. They would teach me a ton too on that journey. And also mimicking native speakers, which I do with my wife, but Puerto Rican Spanish is a whole different level. That's why we moved to Colombia even for a little bit, to immerse ourselves in Spanish speaking there, and they're much more formal. They're very formal, very intentional about their wordplay, and they speak a little bit slower than Caribbean Spanish, which I was really blessed by. Now, something else I wanted to encourage you in, on the first 3 to 6 months, it's important that you watch TV like Netflix and different shows. I would try to watch it without captions at the bottom. And I also would try to stay away from just overly, you know, I even start with kids shows, and that helped me a ton, and different movies, YouTube channels, different things that enhances your listening skills that will take your Spanish to another level. You just have to continue to listen. One of the biggest hacks, let me tell you this real quick too. One of the biggest hacks that I remember on my Spanish learning journey, and I'm not there, I would consider myself an intermediate, so I have a long way to go. I have not arrived when it comes to Spanish learning. But one thing I will say is that whenever I started reading books, and I would also, while I'm reading the book, I would listen to the Audible. That's a cheat right there. That's a hack right there. If you want to take your Spanish to another level, do both. Read the book out loud while you listen to the audiobook at the same time. Then you can be like, oh, that's that word. What? That word is amazing. That just even the flow of their sentences, and you can see, oh wow, why did they say it like that? They actually connected those two words. That's really cool. Like, you know, you'll just be able to see it from a whole different light, different lens of perspective, which really helps your memory as well, being able to get your eyes on the sentences as you read the book and the sentence structures. So that was next level. There's no simple way where you just win it all. You just really have to, just like you immerse yourself in your native language, like you're constantly seeing your language everywhere and you're constantly consuming it in different ways. In the same way, that's what you want to do with Spanish. You want to constantly just be open to every aspect of learning that new target language. The other one, the big one, when I went to Colombia, I didn't foresee how much I would actually have to practice speaking, but I would join language exchange groups. I did that several times, but more importantly, I would hire people not only to be like my Spanish teacher face to face, and a lot of you can't go over to another country for 3 to 6 months and maybe a couple years like I did, but I will tell you this. Instead of hiring a Spanish teacher the whole time I was there, I would actually spend time where I was talking and verbalizing some of my thoughts to people I would hire, like chefs. We had a chef to help my wife out, and I would just watch her cook. I would watch and ask questions about what's this, what's that, and this and that. She probably got on my nerves a little bit. Another thing I would do outside of her, you know, sort of doing the cooking thing, I had a nanny, a niñera, that would help me out as well. That's how I found out how to say diapers and pants, pantalones, when she would put it on my children, ropa, all that stuff, or sucio, it was stinky diaper. Like, things like that was a game changer. So that's what I did the first, I would say first 1 month to 3 months. And then next month, 6 to 9, I really went to refining and getting confident more out in the streets. I engaged in big time conversations. I began to find myself being able to go to barber shops and communicate thoroughly with the barber who was Colombianos también too. But one of the biggest things, you want to learn the alphabet so you can be able to articulate in such a way where your pronunciation isn't like a gringo, but it's actually like the individuals that you're engaging with. So you just got to think through that. What does it look like to continue to work on your pronunciation and your accent? So that was a huge one for me. The last thing I would say really quick, guys, I delved deeper into complex grammatical structures like los palabras son bueno, pero you know, just being able to articulate like what are sort of the multiples in the language, so versus having a singular thing. So if you have the word, you say la palabra. If you say like the words of God, las palabras de Dios son fuego. His word is fire. Like the words of God are fire. Like it began to open up your eyes to like, okay, there's different ways to actually articulate a singular thing versus you know, more with multiple. So I would also say this really quick: start by doing little journals, start writing in Spanish. That's really important. I haven't talked about that yet, but enhancing your writing skills. But it actually brings muscle memory to the mind whenever you're learning that second language, that target language. It's super important, and you have to be really intentional. The next one, cultural immersions. Explore Spanish speaking cultures through cuisine. Go to different restaurants, through music. Music is a big one for me. Worship music is huge, and it helped me so much when I needed to learn different words in the context of what I love. So my heart is for worship, and I love different ways that I can connect with God through secondary language, not my native tongue, but other languages. You know, every tribe, every tongue, every nation needs to come before the throne of God and worship. And that was a passion for me, because it was so much power going in a secondary language and knowing God's heart for that language and those people. All right, months 9 through 12, this is what I want to really encourage you with: mastery and maintenance. It's a lot of mastery. There's parts where you're strong, and then maintenance, there's areas that you're weak, but you want to attack the weaknesses. You want to see the areas that you're really struggling in, and really figure out and ask questions, and don't fail to fail. Don't fall, you know, you might fall, but don't stay on the ground. Get back up and keep trying, but engage in debates. Start doing uncomfortable things with the language. Discuss various topics to challenge your proficiency. Just get beyond what you know and start going into different realms. Try different things outside of your interests, and different words outside of what you're formally used to knowing through the Spanish language. So keep going, guys. I think there's so much you could do, and I'm really encouraged. I also want to just say, on that master and maintenance side, consume advanced content, novels, that storytelling. There's actually a app called Storytel that allows you to listen to so many audio books and different CDs. But it also, if there's a specific dialect you want to learn, say you want to learn Colombian Spanish, or you want to learn Puerto Rico Spanish, and then there's Mexicano Spanish. There's a lot of different options that you have. And I think another thing that's invaluable is get a teacher or mentor. Everyone needs a tribe of leaders that they can go around. The Bible even talks about, like, where there's a multitude of counsel, there's safety. So anytime that you do life alone, even God himself said, man shall not be alone. We always need community. We always need people to dive into, to help us cultivate that which we want to grow in, so we can flourish in such a way where we're like, wow, I see the progress, but we can't do it alone. We need people around us. You teach a child how to fish, he'll never come back. But you can lead them to the water, you can't get them to drink. So there's all these proverbs that tell you, like, one, you can't force someone to do everything, but you can be in their ear trying to encourage them forward as a coach, as a leader. But also with you can go to the fishing hole, you can fish, but you yourself need to eventually have someone teach you how to do it in order to be able to continue to feed the village around you, and continue to find that fulfillment in serving others. Because I think that's why you're on this channel. You want to come here to learn, so you can offer this beautiful gift of a new language to someone else, to other people, to serve them in a better way. And it is fulfilling, but there's other people that are going to see you as an inspiration, and you're going to be the one that train them up, coach them up next. So I want to encourage you in that. Another thing I want to tell you real quick, see, I'm downtown. There's so many resources everywhere. People are awesome resources, but really bad sources. So therefore, we need to look to God as our source He is our sustainer, our fulfiller. He's our portion. He is the one we need on all levels and aspects of our lives. Yes, but people are awesome resources. We can go right here downtown. There's people right now in Oklahoma City, wherever you may live, that are Hispanic and their first language is Spanish. And you can come up to them, especially if they're homeless and they're in need, but they physically can't work, and be like, hey, can I pay you this amount to have a conversation with me today? Maybe it's $5, $10 to talk to me for an hour or 2 hours. Listen, I've done that before, but it's super fulfilling because I get to meet a new friend that's marginalized and doesn't have people to talk to normally. And he will tell me all about his story. I'll learn different nuances. And sometimes they're some of the best communicators because they're gonna hit you left and right with these different experiences and stories and this you know, perspective, and they don't necessarily, they're not in a rush, so they'll sit here and they'll do the thing, they'll talk to you. So that's one way. I typically never do it that way, but in Colombia it really softened my heart seeing all the people in the third world. Nah, I wouldn't call it third world, but in a country that has so many different impoverished areas, that it is ridden with poverty in Medellin, Colombia, on the north side of Medellin. So I got to experience a lot of people in homelessness when I lived in Colombia. And I really think when I got back here, it gave me a heart for people who don't necessarily have finances and different things like that, prosperity going their way, but literally they're seen as the scum of the earth in a way, or they're seen as marginalized. So I just jump into those parties still. But here's what I want to say to close out. Encourage each and every person as you view this video that you know that want to go on this journey to remain patient but persistent. Remain patient but persistent. That's what I'm going to encourage you with. Like, it's not going to happen overnight. This isn't a race, it's a marathon. So strap up your shoes, get ready to kick into the next gear, but stay on a smooth and steady course. In the military, we used to have this thing that we would say, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Don't try to jump to level 9 when you're on level 2. Go from 2 to 3 to 4 till you get to 9. Take your time, right? The very last thing. Estoy muy contento viviendo acá en Oklahoma City, pero yo quiero mudar a Colombia de nuevo en futuro. Es muy importante para mí porque no muchas oportunidades a compartir Jesús acá, pero en futuro yo tengo muchas personas allá. La gente allá en Medellín necesito una persona como mí a compartir Jesús, porque estoy diferente. Estoy poco diferente que muchas la gente allá, or a lot of the people. So I was basically saying, I want to move back to Colombia because there's not a lot of opportunity here. I feel that, well, there's a lot of opportunity here. I would be wrong in saying that, but I want to move back because there's something unique about being a foreigner, sharing your passion and faith somewhere else. It's a little bit of leverage you have and influence that you have going to another country. I'm going to share a lot about this on Faith Fluency if you want to go follow the channel over there. But I realized that the opportunity that you have as a foreigner in a new country like Latin America, because you just stand out, you stick out. Even when you open your mouth, you know, they know you're not from there and it attracts them to you. And I think that's the perfect leverage to share your faith, and an opportunity to really have Colombians and people wherever you may even think about moving one day to draw close to you just to hear your story. And then when you share your story, you began to see how people are impacted through the experiences that you've had and what you've been able to go through. So yeah, guys, just wanted to close out with that. Let me know in the comments, if you were to move anywhere in the world to learn a new language, where would you immerse yourself? I want to hear from you right now. God bless you. Hope y'all have a blessed day. I'm getting ready to take off. Hope this was a pretty solid video, and I'll see you next time. Peace.